Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Hafiz. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to build your own Apple Game Boy. Before we start, if you are new here, do consider subscribing to the channel as you help the channel grow. This was my first Game Boy which I got in late 1992. Over the years, the plastic has turned yellow due to exposure to UV ray. About a year ago, I have fixed the burn polarizer on this Game Boy, but I think it is time for us to upgrade this Game Boy into something more modern, an Apple iGameboy. Taking inspiration from the iPhone, to me an Apple iGameboy should have a new modern IPS screen installed and with an all-white housing just like the iPhone. Essentially turning this Game Boy into this. I've installed the FunnyPlaying Retropixel IPS backlight screen which is comparable to the mobile phone. It has 5 levels of brightness and 36 different color palette options for you to choose from. It has excellent viewing angle and is 11% bigger than the original screen. Alright, these are the parts that we'll be purchasing for this project. All parts and links will be in the description for you to check out. Here we are in AliExpress. The first thing you want to do is to search for FunnyPlaying IPS. Go ahead and sort the result according to orders. More orders would mean that the seller is more reliable. The kit will come with a Retropixel IPS screen, a new screen motherboard, a new shell, button and screws. Scrolling down, the seller has included some basic specification and installation instruction. The kit is relatively easy to install and it doesn't require a lot of soldering, making it perfect for beginners. Alright, we're going to place an order for this kit. It's been 15 days since we placed the order, slight delay due to the Lunar New Year celebration. Normally it takes about 7 to 9 days for it to be delivered to Singapore. All the items are here. Let's take a look at all the items. The new white housing comes with black buttons and a plastic grey lens. Since this is going to be an all-white build, I have purchased a white glass lens and white buttons as well. Sadly, the new button membrane could not be delivered on time, so we'll be reusing the original button membrane. Let's take a look at the FunnyPlaying Retropixel IPS kit. It comes with a protective case to protect all the components. This is a screen aligning bracket, a new front motherboard, an IPS backlight screen, ribbon cable and controller motherboard, another IPS grey glass which we will not be using since we will be using the new white glass lens. Alright, this is everything that comes with the kit. Alright, let's start modding. We will start by dismantling the Game Boy. These are all the tools required for this project. Start by removing the batteries and game cartridges. Next, we remove the 6 Triwing screw using the Triwing screwdriver. These are Nintendo security screws. I've included a link in the description if you are thinking of getting a Triwing screwdriver for yourself. Do ensure to arrange all the screws so you know where each screw belongs to. Next, we'll split the 2 Game Boy halves. The halves are being attached using a ribbon cable. Gently pull out the ribbon cable. We will only need to extract the speaker from the front housing. The rest of the front housing will be replaced using the new IPS motherboard. Next, let's remove the back motherboard. There's a total of 4 screws. Use a Phillips screwdriver and remove all 4 screws. Next, using a tweezer, we're going to lift the back motherboard. This back motherboard is important as it's part of the Game Boy that provides power to the Game Boy and read the game cartridges. Put the back housing aside, we won't be needing it anymore. Next, we shall transfer the back motherboard onto the new white housing. Align everything accordingly and use the 4 screws to screw down the motherboard. I've opted to use the original screw as compared to the new screw that was provided in the kit as it is so much better. Warm up your soldering iron. For the next step, we will remove the speaker from the front motherboard. There are a total of 10 Phillips screws holding down the motherboard. Using the Phillips head screwdriver, remove all 10 screws and remember to arrange the screws together as we will be needing it later. After removing all 10 screws, using a tweezer, we will gently lift up the front motherboard. Next, we will remove the button membranes and the buttons. This will be sent for washing as we will need to reuse it again later. Use some IPA to clean up the speakers before we remove it. This is to ensure that the speaker is clean and loud. Using a soldering iron, we will desolder the speakers from the motherboard. Alternatively, you could purchase a new speaker, therefore you can skip this step. Next, using the soldering iron, we will solder the speakers onto the new motherboard. Since this is a new motherboard, you can be sure that all the capacitors are new. Therefore, the sound that coming out from the speaker will be loud. Take your time to solder the speakers. Next, we will install the front housing. Start by installing all the buttons and the membranes back into its original place. We will need to remove the 2 screw posts. Here I have marked out the 2 screw posts that needs to be removed. Using a pair of flush cutters, we will remove the 2 screw posts. Next, let's install the IPS screen. Insert the screen onto the mounting bracket. It should fit nicely. Connect the screen to the IPS PCB ribbon cable. Next, we install the screen onto the front housing. Peel off the screen plastic and align the screen onto the front housing. Next, we will install the front motherboard onto the housing. The best way I find to do this is to align the speaker first before putting in the motherboard. Next, we will screw in the 8 remaining Phillips screw to hold down the motherboard. Now that is done, carefully bend the ribbon cable and connect it to the motherboard. Do ensure that the ribbon cable is all the way in before locking it in place. In this step, we will connect the two motherboards together. We will start with the front motherboard. Using the provided black ribbon cable, connect it to the front motherboard, ensuring that the shiny connector side is facing upwards. You may need to slightly bend the ribbon cable to help you slot it in place, but do remember to be gentle with it. We will now connect the front motherboard to the original back motherboard. Gently slot the ribbon cable onto the connector slot like this, ensuring that the shiny side is facing up. Do take your time with this step to ensure that the ribbon cable is connected all the way in. Now we will connect the two halves together. Let's screw back the 6 Triwing screw to close everything up. I find using the original screw feels a lot better than the new screw that was provided in the kit. Take your time with this step. The Apple iGameboy is almost complete. Insert the 4 AA battery, put on the battery cover and insert the game. Final step, align the white glass lens and stick it in place. This is so satisfying. Let's turn it on. Instantly, the sound that is coming out from the Game Boy is loud, the screen is bright, viewing angle is amazing and the picture quality is so much clearer. The contrast wheel is now a controller for you to adjust the brightness and choose the different color palettes. There are a total of 36 color options for you to choose from and 5 levels of brightness. It's just amazing to see how you can turn this yellowish 30+ year old Game Boy into something more modern and playable. With this mod, it has just made the Game Boy playable for at least another 30 more years. This is by far my favorite mod and I can't wait to play all the Game Boy classic games such as Operation C, Solar Striker, Tetris and the Pokemon series. Based on the battery testing, it will last about 7 hours on 4 AA battery, which is a small trade-off to the image quality you are getting. One last thing, by pressing the contrast wheel twice, it will enable you to select the 36 color palette including the Retropixel mode. And there you go guys, that's how you install the FunnyPlaying Retropixel IPS screen with all white shell to create your very own Apple iGameboy. If you have found this video useful, do consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We have just crossed 370 subscribers and I'm very grateful for all your support. With that, as always, thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video. Take care and stay safe everybody.